Joining us right now is the president and chief investment officer for Portfolio Wealth Advisors, Lee Munson. Lee, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. The president has described the previous tax cuts as rocket fuel for America's economy. Your take on that and its impact on markets?
Well, it has worked. I mean, we've seen the effect, especially on small cap stocks. I'm not really sure that we can afford another round of tax cuts at this point. But I think that what I'm looking at in the economy under Trump, if we want to put it in that context, is are we seeing a negative effect from the so-called trade wars? And I think that when I was looking at, I was on here a few months back and I said banks are going to be, bank earnings are going to be the only thing we really care about until we get an inverted yield curve, until this bull market comes to an end. We still saw the loan books of, Bank of America, JP Morgan expand. And that's during a quarter where we're supposed to have a lack of confidence. We're supposed to be scared off because of these trade war rattlings. So I think that, this is still just a bunch of negotiations. I'd love to see what kind of new tax cuts that we would have. But
well, he wants to make the individual cuts permanent. That's the centerpiece of the plan.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that that's going to work long term. I think that would be great. I don't think that we need that to keep this bull market running. I think that's unnecessary at this time.
Yeah, the consumer and industrial loan books exceeded expectations. JP Morgan, it was supposed to be 2%. It was 7%. One of the fascinating aspects is that everyone keeps talking about the technology space, right, and how that's really led the market. We're going to get their earnings coming up soon. But I'm wondering, what is your take on technology and going in that direction? I mean, we've talked about Microsoft. We always talk about Amazon. Well, how are you positioning yourself?
I don't really want to be involved in that tech sector right now. It is starting to seem, I don't want to say bubble, but everybody is so confident that these FANG stocks, and now we have, the acronyms are getting longer, so now we have FANG plus BAT, right? We're starting to get into the international thing. This reminds me, this is less 1998. This seems more like 1999 now. And I think when we're looking at valuations, we're really more concerned about that tech sector. I think that the banking sector is so undervalued right now, and you're seeing institutional money just not flowing into the sector.
I just want to point out one thing related to your discussion with Kevin Brady and really trying to make these individual tax cuts permanent. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats did not vote for these tax cuts. They could have made them permanent if they had gotten on board with letting Americans keep more of their own money. And they have said repeatedly, including Nancy Pelosi, this lie that 83% of the benefits of this tax reform go to the top 1%. That is after the individual tax cuts expire in 2025. That's what they're basing that lie on, and they deserve to be called out again and again and again on it. And maybe this is the Republicans' way of putting this in front of the Democrats and saying, you can't tell this lie anymore. We're putting it in front of you. You better vote for this, making these individual tax cuts
And they're
permanent.
doing it right before the midterm elections.
Right. So it's political and financial and economic, but I think that it's political on behalf of the Republicans and for the right reasons.
And as voters go to the polls in November, they'll know that no Democrats voted for lower taxes again.
Right.
Like we know not one voted last year in December. Lee, great to see you. Thanks very much for your insights. We'll be watching the banks over the FANG stocks for sure. Lee Munson there.